Welcome to the Training Camp Report right here on Giants.com. My name is John Schmelk. It is day 3 of training camp, day 2 of practice here at the Timex Performance Center. Joining us as always is beat reporter for Giants.com, Michael Eisen. Michael, how are you?
I'm great, John. How are you doing?
Doing great. Let's get the news out of the way first. Osi Umenyiora was in the building today. He took his physical. However, he was not ready to practice tonight. Giants hope to get him on the practice field as soon as possible. Mike, one other piece of news today that's really kind of been the talk of camp, at least among the media, and that is Plaxico Burress staying in New York, staying in New Jersey, but he's wearing green this year. He's going to the Jets. I know it's a loss. A lot of Giant fans were excited about it. But the bottom line is the Giants still have some very good receivers, especially in Akeem Nicks and Mario Manningham.
Yeah, absolutely. I hesitate to even call it a loss. He wasn't here, so it's really, to me, it's not a loss. Obviously, he's a great player. He did great things for the Giants when he was here. But the Giants do have a good stable of receivers. Manningham and Nicks, at least in the first couple practices, have been catching everything thrown their way. Dominic Hickson is back after a year off. He looks like he's lost no speed. Hopefully we'll get Ramses Barden back at some point. So I think there is a lot of talent. And certainly, it doesn't matter what I think. Eli Manning thinks there's a lot of talent at wide receiver, and that augurs well.
And, of course, we'll see what happens with Steve Smith. He's still a free agent, also battling the injury. We'll see what happens with him. Hopefully we'll get some kind of thing with that in the coming days.
Hopefully soon, yes.
We'll see. Of course, one position where there's a little bit more turnover than wide receiver has to be at the defensive line position. Barry Cofield is no longer with the team, so the Giants have to rely on a couple of young guys, Marvin Austin and Linval Joseph. Chris Canty talked about those two guys today when he spoke with the media.
Step right in and play football. Obviously, he's a big, strong guy, very physical guy. You know, if he decides to go straight, there's nobody in the NFL that's going to stop him. So I mean, he's just, he's that kind of guy. And then Marvin, he's very athletic guy. You can see it in his movements. He's got a little wiggle to him. He's very explosive. So I'm excited about the talents of both of those guys. And like I said, I'm going to try to help them and coach them up as much as I can. They're going to help me in some things too. They're going to teach me some things as well. So I'm excited to work with them.
And Chris Canty, obviously very high on those two guys, Mike. 2 second-round picks, one drafted this year, one drafted last year. If they're not ready, well, you know what? They better be ready because the Giants need them to produce and produce now.
Yeah, you mentioned, John, second-round picks. You expect second-round draft choices to come in and help you as rookies. Linval Joseph only played in 6 games last year, made a very small contribution. Both those guys have a lot of ability, good size, and they can't wait anymore. They've got to step right in. Linval Joseph is right now the favorite to win the starting job, and Marvin Austin is obviously a little bit of a question mark because he did not play at North Carolina last year, but he's got to make an impact this year. The Giants, without Barry Cofield, a little thin at defensive tackle.
Another guy who was a rookie last year, in addition to Linval Joseph, was Matt Dodge. He punted the entire season for the Giants, really was a big part of the team. Well, this training camp, the Giants have brought in some competition. The media spoke to him, Mr. Weatherford, earlier today.
And I really like the coaching staff here. I feel like it's a really good fit. I can do well what they like. I know they, obviously, Jeff Feagles is a Hall of Famer here. And I've kind of tried to model myself after him, the younger years of my NFL career. So I think I've watched enough film of Jeff to make any of you guys puke. So, but I'm definitely prepared for the challenge.
And that punter with just tons of great things to say about the coaching staff, Jeff Feagles, and he's really excited to be here, Mike. Matt Dodge better kick well in camp, or he's not going to be kicking here come the fall.
Yeah, it's going to be a good competition. Steve Weatherford, as I wrote on Giants.com today, is the best punter in the history of New Meadowlands Stadium. It's only 1 year, but the point is he knows this area. He has kicked in that stadium. He understands the winds a little bit. He's comfortable here. He's kicked a lot in inclement weather. And Matt Dodge is in for a run for his money now for the punter's job because he's up against a very talented veteran.
And Coach Coughlin loves competition. There'll be a lot of that at their punter position in practice. Tom Coughlin also addressed the media earlier today, and with all the talk about Osi, all the talk about Plax, no one actually asked Coach yesterday how the guys do at practice. Well, he was very happy at how clean practice was, despite the fact the guys haven't been here for OTAs or for minicamp.
We didn't put the ball on the ground last night. We didn't have any false starts. We didn't have any issues along those lines, which you would normally associate with how long we've been out of practice or being with each other. I'm hoping, since I just stuck my foot in my mouth, we're not saving it up for this afternoon.
And Coach hoping he doesn't put a hex on this whole thing by saying how clean practice was in day one. Mike, you know how he can't stand false starts, fumbled snaps, and that sort of thing. So far, so good.
Well, he left down interceptions, John. I saw an interception yesterday. I noticed one today. Terrell Thomas picked off Eli Manning, so it hasn't been perfect. And I'm sure there'll be some practices, in which he's going to get some of those penalties that he lows, and people are going to lay the ball on the ground. But it certainly is a good start, especially considering they weren't on the field all spring to come out here and have such a clean, crisp practice.
Who would have thought? Tom Coughlin, the optimist, Michael Eisen, the pessimist.
Well, we reverse roles sometimes, I guess. I'm sure we'll revert back to form very quickly.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us for the training camp report tonight right here on Giants.com. Mike and I, and of course, along with Paul Dottino and Anthony DeMarks, will be with you during practice every day during training camp. Make sure you join us. And of course, follow the Giants on social media. Follow them on Twitter @Giants and be a fan of them on Facebook at facebook.com/New York Giants. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next time.